Hey everyone, and welcome to the Audit Guidebook channel. Today, we're going to break down a topic that is absolutely essential for every single audit professional out there, the 3 types of internal controls. So let's jump right in. Now, just so you know where we are, this explainer is a really important piece of Module 2 in our practical guide to audit. So whether you're just getting your feet wet in the audit world or you're a seasoned pro looking for a quick refresh, you are definitely in the right place. So let's start with the big question, right? How does any organization, think about it, with all its people, its money, its processes, how does it actually keep everything on the rails and protect itself from all the risks out there? Well, the answer, as you probably guessed, lies in a really smart system of internal controls. But before we can even get into the different types of controls, we have to be absolutely crystal clear on what they're for. What's their purpose? What are they fundamentally trying to do? Okay, so at their core, internal controls are all the policies, the procedures, the activities that management puts in place. But here's the real key. They aren't just about catching mistakes or playing defense. They are the entire game plan an organization uses to achieve its most important goals. And what I love about this is how it breaks down those big goals. Controls are there to make sure the numbers are right. That's your reliable financial reporting. They're there to protect the company's stuff, everything from cash in the bank to laptops. That's safeguarding assets. They keep the company out of hot water legally, and they help make sure everything just runs smoothly. These 4 are basically the pillars of any well-run organization. To hit all those objectives, we can sort controls into 3 main categories. And they really work together as a complete system. Think of it like a sequence. First, you try to prevent bad things from happening. Then, you have to detect anything that slips through the cracks. And finally, you have to correct it. Let's break down each one. First up, we've got our proactive layer, preventative controls. The best way to think about these as like the walls of a fortress. They're your first, and hopefully your strongest line of defense. They're designed to stop trouble before it can even get started. And this slide right here gets to the heart of it. Preventative controls are all about being proactive. You know the saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's the whole philosophy here. It's always going to be cheaper and way more effective to stop a problem before it happens than to clean up a mess later. So, what does this look like in the real world? Well, the classic example is segregation of duties. You make sure the person who can approve a payment isn't the same person who can actually make the payment. That simple separation prevents a massive amount of potential fraud. Same goes for requiring a manager's signature for big purchases, using passwords to protect data, or even doing background checks on new hires. It's all about stopping an issue at the source. But of course, no fortress wall is perfect, right? Some issues are going to slip through, and that is exactly where our second category comes into play: detective controls. If preventive controls are the walls, think of these guys as the guards in the watchtowers, scanning for trouble. Now, the crucial thing to get here is that detective controls are, by their very nature, reactive. They work after the fact. Their whole job is to raise a red flag that something has already gone wrong, which makes them absolutely essential for finding the gaps your preventive controls might have missed. And for so many of you watching, this is our bread and butter as auditors, isn't it? We spend a ton of time testing these. When you perform a bank reconciliation, that's a detective control. You're looking for differences between the company's books and the bank's records. Same thing when you're doing a physical inventory count to find missing stock, or running variance reports to spot weird spending. These are the tools we use to uncover problems. Okay, so your watchtower sounded the alarm. You found a problem. Now what? Just knowing something's wrong isn't enough, right? This brings us to our final and super critical category: corrective controls. These are the repair crews that rush in to fix the damage and, just as importantly, reinforce the fortress for the future. And this dual purpose here is everything. It is not enough to just fix the immediate problem. The real value, the real genius of a corrective control is its second job: learning from what went wrong to make sure that same thing doesn't happen again. This is how an organization actually gets smarter and stronger over time. So let's say a detective control, like an internal audit review, finds a weakness. The corrective control is what happens next. It could mean updating a policy to close a loophole. It might unfortunately involve disciplinary action. Or it could be as straightforward as making a financial adjustment entry to fix a mistake. The goal is always resolution and improvement. This table really brings it all together beautifully. But notice how they're not separate ideas. They are a cycle. A strong preventive control, like segregation of duties, means your detective control, the bank reconciliation, is going to find fewer issues. And when an issue is found, a good corrective action, like updating a policy, makes your preventive layer even stronger for the future. See? They all work together. So, the bottom line here, the really crucial takeaway, is that a strong internal control framework isn't about choosing one type over the other. It's about building a tough, layered system that uses all three, preventative, detective, and corrective, to protect the organization from every possible angle. Hey, if you found this explainer helpful, if it helped you connect the dots a little better, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. And make sure you're subscribed to the Audit Guidebook channel. It honestly makes a huge difference, and it helps us keep creating practical, no-nonsense content for professionals just like you. And hey, don't stop here. Be sure to check out our other videos and keep building up those practical audit skills. All right, I'm going to leave you with a final thought to chew on. In your experience as an audit professional, which one of these three control types, preventive, detective, or corrective, do you feel gets overlooked the most by organizations? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.